Here we go. Okay, we are recording. So I just wanted to share with you guys my plan for April. I know I've been doing this the past few months, and I think it's really helpful for you guys just to know like what I'm doing. Hopefully it can help you to figure out like what you want your plan to be for the month ahead. And I mean, I've seen a lot of success with the way I plan my business. So hopefully like you can either model yours like my own little tweaks and adjustments things. So first off, I'm just gonna like run through my plan, and then I'm going to share a few tips and tricks in terms of like the season we're going through right now, because I know a lot of people are like in this place of, well, should I keep working my business? Should I take a step back? Like, how do I approach this whole thing with everybody being stuck at home and losing jobs? So first of all, I just want to say like mindset again is so key. Like, I heard a video from Rachel Hollis today, and I think I'll post it in the team page after this because it is so good. She just said, you know, you have to ask yourself the question of, is life happening to you or is life happening for you? And right now, it feels like for everybody that it's happening to us. But if we shift our mindset to life is happening for me, then like really I've been doing that the past few days, and I've felt so much more like motivated and like driven. I'm like, I gotta get to work, I gotta find my girls, like I gotta get new people in my boot camp. And I feel even more stoked up about sharing this with people and helping people because I realize there's a greater need for it right now, like especially right now in terms of both like boot camps and the coaching opportunity. Like both people need both. So anyways, diving into my plan first and foremost. So I came up with this like just a few days ago, but I was asking myself a ton of questions like, what do people really need right now? And I was like, how can I provide that in a boot camp? So this month I am titling my boot camp the Fighting for Better Boot Camp, or Fight for Better Boot Camp. And I know in the summer, a lot of you guys were coaches on our team. So you remember I hosted like a Choose Better Boot Camp series, and I'm all about that. Like, you have a choice every day. You can choose better for yourself by just simply saying like, I'm going to press play on my workout, like a good choice right there, choosing better for my health. So I was like, I feel like right now people can choose better, but it's really hard to choose better because of everything we're facing, like the emotions and the hardships and losing things and jobs and events. So I was like, 10 rounds is coming out, you know, it's like a boxing program. What better than like fighting for better? Because we all really need to pull together as a community and fight for something better, whether it's like our health or our businesses or our lives, like financially, relationships. So I'm hosting my boot camp as the Fighting for Better boot camp, and also a coach workshop as my like Fighting for Better coach workshop. I'm just gonna like title them the same thing and see how it goes. That's the fun part I feel like about coaching, is that we can literally just like create and come up with our own theme, our own ideas for this stuff, and like ask ourselves questions just like I did today or a few days ago. Of like, how can I serve? How can I show up? And how can I help people better? So my boot camp is starting, and I know Paige is on here and she's helping me run it. And there are a few other like discount coaches, hobby coaches, and just newer coaches who are helping me run it. So I'm stoked for that, to like have people helping out with it, because it's always so much more fun. Like if you guys are hosting a boot camp all by yourself, I would highly encourage like find some success partners, or find like people even in Team Root to Rise. Like it doesn't even have to be in Team Wholehearted, but find other people to run your groups with, because it makes it so much more fun. So we are starting our group on the 6th for like a week of prep. So that's always, I always give myself like that first week as that's when I want to get all my girls in. But even if I don't, then I can still have until the 13th to get my people like really in the group. And if anybody ever starts like later than the prep week, I don't just say like, oh, you missed out on prep, like here, just start with your program. I usually will say like, go to the prep group, like, cause I have a separate Facebook like prep week group, and I'll tag them on all the posts and be like, make sure you get through these before you start your program. Even if that means pushing back your start date for your boot camp or for like your program a whole week or whatever it is, like as much time as they need to prep, because I want to make sure they feel solid and like confident starting on the right foot. So yeah, we will start on the 13th. And then last month I did like a sort of like a registration close, and that seemed to work pretty well. And I was still inviting people on the back end, but on the front end, like social media posts and stories, I wasn't like talking about my group anymore. And I kind of let people know like the registration has closed. And I know Heather talked about on our call on Sunday night and on our call last week, like posting those graphics with the lists of people's names and stuff like that. So that's like a huge thing. I'm like, I need to do that this month because I keep forgetting. So I'm doing that this month. I like made a note in my calendar that I'm like posting, you know, 10 spots, and then I'm going to put people's names in as they sign up. So once the registration closes, it's like, it kind of puts pressure on you if you do have a date where you're like soft closing your registration. It puts pressure on you to fill up those spots, right? So I kind of like using that stuff as incentive and motivation for me to like get all my girls in early in on the group. So then after the 13th, I am going to like shift. Probably around the 15th, I'll shift my posting, and instead of like breadcrumbing, storying, posting about the boot camp, as well as like all my other brands and my other like parts of my life, definitely going to shift the focus into coaching and just talk about like the opportunity we have as coaches. I didn't host a coach sneak peek last month, and I was like debating it for so long because I was like, oh, like I need to do it, but I don't want to because of everything that's going on. And now I feel like the dust has settled and I'm in such a better headspace that I'm like ready to go out and serve and tell people about the coaching opportunity, because it can truly like help so many people right now, especially those who are losing jobs. And I talked about it in a call like 2 weeks ago. There's a way to do that and promote your groups and your coach workshops without being salesy and pushy and like taking advantage of people in their weakness, right? Like there's a way to be empathetic and kind and just provide a solution to them. Like it would be a disservice if we didn't offer our services and provide a solution. So I'm going to host my coach workshop. I don't have the for sure dates quite yet, but I know it's going to be the week of probably the 20th, like maybe that weekend, leading into like the end of the month. So right when the 27th comes on Monday, what's really cool about that, if you were on the Team Root Your Eyes call this past Sunday, Carly talked about this as well. Like it's so helpful when you run some kind of group, whether it's a coach sneak peek or a free group right at the end of the month, because then it kind of sets you up for success moving into the first of next month. So for May, you know, then you'd have all these people in this free group or this coach workshop thinking about joining your team or thinking about joining your whatever the group was about. And then, you know, they can roll right into your next boot camp like so perfectly. And then my last thing, I always try to host like some sort of free thing. I used to do free groups like when I first started as a coach. And if you guys are new coaches, like free groups are awesome. Like they totally rock. But I stopped hosting them kind of when Instagram added so much opportunity to like do live videos and just all the different ways we can add value. So now I'm really trying to focus in on like adding free value. So I have a few things that I'm going to do. And I might actually do these like all throughout the month instead of just having like, you know, a free group during these 3 days of the month. So I'm going to try to, this was a goal for last month. And again, with everything happening with the virus, I was kind of like freaked out and I was like, what do I do? You know, frozen in time for a few days. So I didn't end up hosting, but I wanted to do an IGTV like cooking series. So this month I'm like totally going to do it. Button to gear. And Chad and I are also starting like an IGTV like sing-along series. So that's kind of fun too. But just another way to like add free value. It makes people feel good. It makes them happy. It helps them connect to us. And then I also want to do another free live workout because that was so fun. And I collected like 15 emails. I don't know if you guys all saw, but I know a lot of you were a part of it. I can't remember, was it 2 weeks ago Saturday? I hosted like a just free live Zoom workout, and I asked people to fill in my chat box in my stories. And if they dropped their email, I sent them basically just a ton, like a list of free workout samples, and then the Zoom link we'd be using. And it was like a one-time only Zoom link so that they wouldn't have it for forever, because this call that we're on right now is like my like chat room, like personal link that you get when you like start paying for Zoom. So I didn't share that one, but I shared like a one-time link, and we had so many people on the call. Like it was so much fun, and we all did our live workouts, and there were girls from like Germany who hopped on that follow me and are so sad because like our program doesn't extend to Germany. So I was like, I need to do this like more often. It gets all the girls in like my boot camp way more engaged, and they were all so stoked. Like they were all posting about it all day. So I definitely want to host another one of those. And I think it's a great way almost to do kind of like a little, what I used to do as a challenge group sneak peek. So instead of a coach, you do a challenge group, and you just go live for like 3 days in a free group on Facebook and talk about your challenge group or your boot camp and like what you love about it, how it's changed your life. And nowadays with like YouTube and all these different sources of value and like ways to share tools and information with people, I just feel like a free group over Facebook like isn't necessary if you didn't want to do that. Like you can send people a video or host a free live workout. So I love that. Definitely going to do that again. And then I also wanted to send out like maybe one email to everybody on my email list, basically with just tons and tons of like love and supportive free stuff like recipes, Shaco. And I already did that to all my clients last month, trying to just get people re-engaged. But this month I was like, I need to expand that and like send it to everybody with just whatever, you know, with what's going on right now. I just think the more and it also teaches people to trust you. And that's what we want. Like, we want people to trust us, because then they'll know like, oh, if I get in her boot camp, she's going to take care of me. She's not going to like, you know, sign me up and then just peace out. Like, bye, have fun on your health journey. And that's why I love our business. Like, it's so different from any other company that's structured like this, right? Like, it's not about just signing somebody up and then piecing out. It's like, the work starts when we sign someone up. So I wrote down a list of questions that I just wanted to ask you guys, and then maybe this will help kind of spark something in you if you don't already have a plan for April, or maybe if you have one but you're kind of adjusting, figuring it out. So the first thing is just asking yourself, like, what groups am I hosting? You know, do I want to host a free group? Do I want to host a boot camp? Do I want to host a coach workshop? I would say like for sure, everybody should be hosting a boot camp. Like, that's what you do as a coach. That's the bread and butter of our business. But so make a plan, choose your dates, and then put it out there in the universe, put it out there on social media, tell everybody, tell your mom, tell your grandma. And then the next question is, what are your goals? So like, what is your Success Club goal? Like, how many people do you want to get in this boot camp? How many people do you want to get in your free group? Be really, really specific, because I think not only is it important to write down those goals so that like our brains are thinking about it, you know, writing things down is so important, but also it's like putting it out there, and that's kind of scary, right? Like, it's with any goal in life, like I could just be dreaming about it and thinking about it, but if I speak it out, or I talk to Chad about it, or I tell social media, it like puts the pressure on, because you're like, oh, this is real, like now I actually have to follow through. So maybe like, what are your Success Club goals, new coach goals, health goals, PD goals? Like, do you want to read through 1 PD book, 2 PD books, which book? Do you want to have some fun goals? Like, since a lot of us are stuck at home in quarantine, like maybe you want to start dancing. Like, I've been watching so many TikTok dance videos when I'm like done with my work. Gotta make sure I'm done with my work, because I can go down a rabbit hole with those. But they're so fun. And I asked Chad today, I was like, we should like learn how to dance, because I'm terrible at dancing. But so like, make some fun goals for yourself, and then like, you know, tie it into your business. Like, if you have a fun new goal of learning how to dance, take a story, like share that on Instagram. Like, that's such a fun way to connect with people. So another question is just asking like, paid wise and then free value, right? So like, that kind of goes back to the groups you're hosting, but am I giving service for free? Am I just like sharing value on my platform? Am I sharing recipes? And am I giving value in my challenge group, like beyond just the basics? Because I think a lot of times we can go to the challenge group guides and be like, oh, it's all laid out for me, just copy and paste it into your boot camp. But I encourage you to like add something that makes your boot camp specific to you. Like, are you passionate about music? Are you passionate about cooking? Are you passionate about outdoors or animals? Like, add some sort of aspect like that to your boot camp to make it a little bit more like personable and fun. And I feel like that's just more value. Like, one of the girls in my boot camp is a singer, and Chad and her have actually like written a song together, and she just the other day like shared her album in the boot camp, and I was like, oh my gosh, we should like start sharing playlists. And just because like that's adding more connection to everyone, and more like we're building the relationships, and so people are going to want to stay in there longer and want to keep showing up for their workouts, because they're like, this isn't just my group of workout babes, this is my community, this is my friend, or these are my friends, this is my family. So just asking yourself, like, how am I adding all of this value in both like the paid services to my clients, and then the free on Instagram or through value or free posts and value. And then, are you getting creative or innovative with what's going on right now in our world? So going back to kind of like my theme of the boot camp that I'm hosting this month, I really wanted to get creative and innovative with like providing a value to people in whatever they're going through right now, like with all of this madness of the virus. And so ask yourself, like, you don't necessarily have to host a themed boot camp around everything that's going on, but maybe you could add some posts in your boot camp, around what's going on. Or maybe in your Instagram, you can share posts, not necessarily around what's going on, but like how you are surviving and thriving through this, how you aren't just like scraping by every day, but you are like fueled and filled up and feeling good. Like, share that energy with the world. And yeah, I also said on here, like, are you choosing defeat, or are you choosing a victim mindset, or are you choosing, that life is happening for you, and this is going to be something that you're going to use to propel your business forward even more so, and take advantage of the time that you have to be at home. Let's see. Yeah, I just also said down here, like, what do my people need right now? That's another good question, like in terms of Instagram or Facebook or your boot camps, like, what are my people asking for? You can even like make a poll and ask them, and how can I provide that to them in the best way possible? Like, is there, maybe you should host like a coffee chat with your clients, and everybody hops on, and then you guys talk, just hang out and talk about like how you're surviving through all of this. Or maybe, people aren't always available at the same time, so you want to host like a nighttime mastermind, or maybe you just do a live video if you have like a Facebook group, and it'll live there forever. But just getting really, really specific with like, how can I serve my people right now in the way that they want and they need? And like, what is that going to look like? Get curious, ask them. And then lastly, before we go into like questions, 2 things that I think that will just go such a long way right now in your business. 2 things to keep in mind is empathy. Like, are you being empathetic with every person you talk to? Like, if they tell you their issues, like they lost a job or something, and you guys were talking about the boot camp, and now you're like super defeated because they probably won't be able to afford it. Like, instead of choosing, to feel angry or frustrated, or like, oh, now I have to find somebody else to sign up, like, give empathy to them and remind yourself, like, they're a human and they're going through this struggle, and we're all imperfect, and we all have struggles. But just like extra empathy, I think this month can just go so far. And secondly, confident leadership. So I was just thinking about like everybody right now, well, not everybody, but most everybody right now feels probably a little lost, maybe lonely, and like they just don't know what to do or where to go. Like, maybe some people are really, really bored. So like, what if you were the person that showed up in their life or on their feed as a confident leader? Like, they come to you and they're telling you, venting to you about their problems or whatever. And like, instead of you just like brushing it off, or maybe just listening to them, or like kind of getting down on the whiny train with them, like, what if you were the person who stepped up and like led them into a better place, like a better mindset, and just was really that like servant friend? And I also wrote down here, like, if you prove you're trustworthy and interested in their success and act as that confident leader, like, that's literally our job. So you're like showing them what kind of coach you would be. And I just feel like that's what so many people need right now. Like, they need direction, they need guidance. And maybe some people don't know that they need a fitness program. Like, they don't know that's going to change their lives. Like, I had a new client last month who has been messaging me, and she's like, Leanna, why didn't I sign up sooner for this? Like, this is changing my life. And I'm like, girl, I don't know, but maybe I should have asked you more frequently. Like, maybe it's not on you, maybe it's on me. So yes, empathy and confident leadership. And I would also recommend like looking up maybe PD on those topics, because I feel like that's what a lot of people need to really like hone in on right now, especially us as coaches. Like, this is what we know how to do really well, is like serve people in the virtual space. So like, the better we can show up and do that in an empathetic and like confident way, it's just going to blow your business up and also like help so many freaking people. So anybody has questions, like literally any question, or if you guys just want to like hang and work, I still have to get some work done. I'm drinking Energize for the 2.5 time today. Yes, for the IGTV series. So fun. Oh, are you saying, can we do it weekly to the like live free Zoom workouts?
Or like bi-weekly, I feel like we should do them a lot because we have so
That
much
would be so fun.
Yeah.
So I'm not like the only one, then yes, let's do it. Yay. All right.